Would I be an idiot if I requested a different teacher for my second daughter over something that happened 5 years ago? So this is what happened 5 years ago. My then 9-year-old daughter started puberty earlier than others her age, and body odor was a problem. Foot smell also runs in my family. We started using foot powder for her shoes, but sometimes it didn't help, and she habitually bounced her foot when working. Being young, she loved wearing flats to school and was in the class of RT, rude teacher. RT pulled my daughter aside before recess and told her that she needed to keep her shoes on because she was making the classroom stink, and then days later called out my child's name in front of the entire class, prompting my child to put her foot down. The teacher thanked her and went on teaching. When I pointed out how embarrassing that was for a 9-year-old who doesn't have control of her body smells right now, the teacher was very blasé about the situation and how she'd handled it. And it gave my daughter body issues that she's still dealing with. She's going into 9th grade now. I've never forgiven RT or gotten over now the present day. In May, requests for the upcoming school year were sent out. I requested my second daughter, D2, not be put in RT's class. I didn't go into detail as to why, just requested she not be in RT's class. Teachers were posted today and lo and behold, D2 is in RT's class. D2 has ADHD, gets very emotional very easily, and from what I heard from a friend who subbed for RT's class last year, it was a poop show. I have my reservations on how well RT would be able to handle D2 or if there would be a similar situation of embarrassment for her. Would I be the idiot if I emailed the principal and asked her to move D2 to the other teacher's class before school starts? I don't want to make her work harder, but I also don't like the approach of just wait and see what happens. My husband, however, feels that we should give RT another shot, because we will have 2 other kids going into her class in the future if she's still teaching, and we can't always ask for special placement because of something that happened 5 years ago. So, would I be the idiot? Comments before the update. Everyone sucks here. Your daughter should have been taught not to take off the shoes in class. That is disgusting, smelly feet or not. The teacher should have talked with you and your daughter privately about not taking the shoes off. Not the idiot. You absolutely can request your child not be placed in this particular teacher's classroom. Your priority as a parent is to protect your kids and help them get an education in a setting conducive to learning. Update. I emailed the principal that night and basically said, I'm so sorry, I know teachers just got posted, but I requested D2 not be in RT's rude teacher class. Is it possible to have her switched into the other class? Monday, the principal called me and in essence said there's a lot that goes into making class lists. Academics have to be considered. Similar numbers of boys and girls in each class, making sure if any kids couldn't be in a class together they were split, so it's just too hard. I told her my side, and how I'm sure that nothing would likely happen, but for me personally there's a non-zero chance of her causing undue harm to another of my children. She told me she'd talked to RT many times, and although she'd yet to see her teach, she's knew that RT is very nice and she'd talked to RT without naming names to let RT know that a parent was concerned about having their child in her class due to previous treatment of a sibling. Tuesday, I talked to someone from the district that is the administrator for the schools in my area. He asked me about the situation. I told him, and I mentioned that the principal had said it was too hard to switch students, so I was wondering if it was something that the district could do easier. That I know all it takes is one bad experience with a teacher to ruin kids' school enjoyment. He said the district didn't typically override the principal's decisions, but he wanted to talk to her because he agreed that what RT said and did was inappropriate, and I shouldn't have to stress about another of my kids being in her class. Wednesday, the principal called me again. She was very shocked because when we talked I thought we'd reached an understanding. But I just got off the phone with my supervisor and, well, wouldn't you know it, there just happened to be a 2nd grade teacher in her office, so the teacher helped the principal find a student who was equal to my daughter. They talked to the parents and D2 would no longer be in RT's class. The principal said, you know, if you were still having reservations about her being in the class you could have come to me. I said I wasn't trying to go above you. You just said it was too hard, so I didn't know if it was something the district could have an easier time doing. She ended with, well, we hope to see you at back to school night. And if you need anything, please let me know first. Anyway, that's the update. Thanks everyone for your judgment and insights. Comments before second update. You're the idiot. You're Karen and it is really showing. I get that everyone wants the best for their kids, but you seem like a controlling helicopter parent. I pity your husband and kids and hope you find the help you need. Not the idiot. Nice. The principal was definitely caught off guard by the district coming into this issue and didn't expect that at all. I'm sure you showed plenty of concern, but the principal is one of those who is used to having the last word on things with parents, and often forget there's a whole slew of people above them who can pressure them to do the right thing. Update. I agree that none of it needed to happen, and that's why I made the first post asking if I was overreacting. I did have her swap out her shoes so her flats could air out. If she wanted to wear them I put foot powder in them and told her to keep them on. But it's not really about the shoes. I never heard from the teacher about any issues. When my daughter came home after the first incident we had her stop wearing the shoes, made sure she was showering and scrubbing her feet. Bought those ultra no-show socks for the flats, etc. I didn't hear about it being an issue again until the day before parent-teacher conferences, but again, from my child and not from her. I don't disagree with her side. After the PTC we had her only wear the flats on weekends at home, but I can only fix a problem if I know about a problem. It's more about her attitude when I asked her at PTC if she didn't see how that might be embarrassing for a kid. I even asked why we weren't made aware that it was still an issue. If she had said I didn't mean for it to come across that way, or I see how that could be misunderstood, or literally anything pointing out why she didn't reach out to us when it was first a problem, or after the first incident when it apparently continued to be a problem, there wouldn't be hard feelings. Instead, she doubled down on her stance and shrugged it off like it was no big deal. It wasn't a big deal to adults, but it was to a 9-year-old little girl who was going through changes that other kids her age weren't. Also, my husband is always on our kids' sides, but he is also more logical, whereas I'm more emotional. I don't think he's wrong for suggesting we give her another chance, hence why I posted asking if I was overreacting. Do you think she went too far? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for calling out my dad and stepdad? I, female 16, have a twin brother, Cody. I do cheerleading and Cody does sports. We do these activities because we enjoy them, but Cody also puts in a lot of effort because he's constantly seeking approval from our dad and stepdad. The two don't care for each other, but are somehow the best of friends when it comes to Cody's sports. He does like 5 different ones because our dad likes hockey and lacrosse while our stepdad prefers football. And basketball, they both enjoy baseball. If he ever dares to quit a single one of them will throw a riot or accuse him of playing favorites. It's so dumb. Sometimes Cody's schedules clash or get so overwhelming to the point where he'll lay on his bedroom floor for hours and dissociate. It's been like this since he was like 10. My mom and stepmom think it's just men being men and that boys enjoy sports, so Cody probably doesn't care. But like, there's a limit to everything, right? We were having a celebratory lunch for our older sister before she leaves for college, and both sides were there. The lunch ended at 2 p.m. and our sister asked if we wanted to go to the mall. I said yes, and Cody was clearly going to say yes, but our dad said he had baseball practice. Cody tried asking if he could sit out one day since he hasn't missed a single practice of anything in his life, but our stepdad joined our dad's practice makes perfect speech and backed out. They then tried using me as an example. Oh, Ashley's never missed a day of practice and look at her, medals and trophies for days. I thought this was ridiculous. I've missed plenty of practices and Cody has more awards than me. I asked them if they were being serious and told them what I just mentioned. My dad kept telling me to be quiet, but I called him and my stepdad losers that need to realize that Cody is a human being with limits, not a doll they can program or play with. Both of them were very embarrassed. My dad told me that I was being very disrespectful. My mom joined in and said I was reading too much into the whole thing and that they're men and I simply won't get their dynamics. I call bullshit, but they're all saying I'm in the wrong and need to apologize. My sister agrees with me but says I was disrespectful. Cody doesn't want to talk about it. Am I the idiot? Just to make it clear, the practice was an informal one. Think of it as extra credit to strengthen specific skills. Comments before the update. Not the idiot. I'm a high school basketball coach. If a kid this stretched out tries out for my team, I'll talk to him about his motivations for being here. If he's only there because a parent wants him to be there and really doesn't want to be there, I'll cut him so he can have at least some time that's his own. I don't care how good the player is. If he's only there because other people want him to be, I'll make the dad I don't want to play basketball conversation easy for him. Not the idiot. It needed to be said, and it's sad that no one has said it before. Good for you for standing up for him. When your brother has a breakdown because of the pressure, your dad and stepdad will be there all confused as to why that's happened. Update. So like I said, I called my grandma. I told her everything and she was mad. She told me that I did a good job telling off my parents and that she's glad I told her. In the meantime, my mom finally realized that something was wrong and called me while I was out to tell me that there was something wrong with Cody. From what she described, he was doing his dissociating thing. I was kind of upset that this was her first time seeing him in this state, considering I've seen it many times, but maybe after what I said, she'd been paying more attention to him. Then my grandma arrived and she made my mom bring everyone over, dad, stepmom, stepdad, and she really gave it to them. She told them if they didn't get their priorities straight then she'd be taking me and Cody. She also made it very clear to my mom and stepmom that their it's a guy thing thinking was shameful. Mom felt guilty, but my stepdad and dad threw a fuss. Mom then yelled at them and told them what she saw. That shut them up. It was crazy to see my parents being scolded like they were little kids, but since they didn't want to hear it from me. Well, my mom then talked to Cody, who, like a lot of you said, didn't want to quit any sport because this whole thing is so ingrained in him, but mom put her foot down and told him that she was so sorry for letting this go on for so long, but he has to quit at least one sport. Cody said some harsh things back, but they resolved it thanks to grandma. He's now only doing hockey and baseball. He was too afraid to tell our dad, so my mom told them instead and they reacted. Okay, stepdad said at least he's not quitting all of them, but shut up after my mom glared at him. This whole situation was really something, and it's crazy to think I triggered it. I felt sort of guilty for a while, but reading everyone's harsh but very true comments knocked some sense into me. Cody has no identity. He doesn't have a favorite song, movie, etc. It is now my mission to help him figure himself out. Hopefully he gets therapy, but the parents are too busy fighting over whose fault this is. Maybe I'll call grandma again, lol. Not the idiot. Good for you. Seriously, you handled this incredibly well. It's hard getting older and realizing that the people we've looked up to as authorities all our lives are just people that can frick up, people that deserve to be scolded when they need to pull their heads out of their asses for being selfish pricks. Good on you for telling your grandma, and I'm glad she stepped up for you both. How would you handle this toxic household? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for wanting space after our daughter eloped? I, male 47, and my wife, female 53, are having some troubles, and a friend suggested posting here. Our daughter Tony, 24, decided to elope and we found out through a Facebook post. We always had a good relationship, so this was a huge shock to us. It hurt us a lot that she didn't even tell us she was going to marry or that we could see her get married at all. It also doesn't help that who she married we met once and only dated for a year. Both my wife and I are hurt. We saw Tony today and told her we needed some space. She seemed shocked and asked why. We told her it's because we are hurt that she eloped. Tony got mad and told us that it was her wedding and she can do what she wants. My wife told her yes, it's her wedding, but there are still consequences with her eloping. Tony called us unsupported jerks and left. Edit some common questions. We are close, we get dinner every weekend, and she picked an apartment that was close to us so she could see us more. We met the guy 2 months ago. He is fine. We invited him back multiple times, but he works at the hospital so his schedule isn't normal. We just want a few weeks to process this and not go to dinner for a bit. Just want some space. Comments before the update. Not the idiot. Your wife sounds smart. I'm surprised you guys asked for space instead of talking to her and explaining to her that you're hurt because she got married without even telling you guys. You missed a big moment for her and you're her parents, as if she didn't trust you enough or didn't consider your feelings. Hopefully her marriage turns out well. No idiots here. She is allowed to do what she wants. She's an adult. You're humans and are allowed to have very normal human feelings. Nobody enjoys being left out and in the dark. You're also allowed to want space to process how you feel. Update. This whole situation resolved itself last night. We got a call from Tony last night. Her best friend since middle school also found out from Facebook, lives in another state. Her best friend was extremely hurt and ripped her a new one, Tony's words. It got to the point where she told Tony that I guess you will find out I am married by Facebook. That made it click and she realized she messed up. Now the reason for eloping and Facebook had nothing to do with us and everything with the guy she married. Jeff's parents are not in his life, so he never wanted a wedding since his side would be empty. Also, he didn't want us at the courthouse for the same reason. They thought Facebook would be the easiest way to tell all his relatives. According to Tony, it didn't even cross her mind to call and tell us. So everyone found out from Facebook besides the witnesses. Now they haven't moved in together yet and their honeymoon is later this month. Instead of meeting this weekend, we moved it to Wednesday when Jeff is off. We also showed the Reddit post and she was shocked at what a lot of you guys said. Not the idiot. Oh well, I mean, it's one thing for Jeff not to want a wedding, but what did your daughter want? Even if they wanted to elope, I don't understand how it didn't cross her mind to tell you I am so sorry. If it was me, I would resent someone from keeping my family from experiencing this celebration with me just because my partner wouldn't have had that same experience. Not the idiot. So because Jeff is so insecure about not having family, he made your daughter elope without telling anyone. Not liking this guy. Family doesn't always mean relatives, it means friends too. He can still have a side with who he loves. Glad she figured out how wrong she was before she alienated everyone.